once more today. Softball time in Oklahoma. Time to win or go home for Texas Tech and Alabama. The winner to the championship finals. The loser to an earlier offseason than they would like.
The spotlight.
Everybody better buckle up.
The farther you go, the brighter it becomes.
We're here to compete and that we're here to win.
I'm ready for this team to dominate.
Just watch me
Blasted to center by Williams. It's gone! Giles serves one to deep center.
We're going to fight last pitch, last out, no matter what.
Power against power.
Moments like these are made for stars like you.
Brisky, she's starting out on fire.
Strikes on strikes. And she strikes her out looking.
The championship is on the horizon.
Just watch me
Nyjah Kennedy is not done yet.
The closer you come, the hotter it gets.
I was made to shine.
This is the Women's College World Series semifinals.
And welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Let's play two for a second time today. Thanks to Mia Williams. First career walk-off home run. Bottom of the seventh off Vic Moten. Texas Tech 5, Alabama 4, forcing a decisive fourth game today. The Texas Longhorns have already come out of the losers bracket to beat Tennessee twice and make it to the championship finals. That's what Texas Tech is trying to do as well. One more time on this Monday, welcome to Oklahoma City. Kevin Brown, two-time All-American, Amanda Scarborough, Alyssa Lang on the field with us. The drama, the theater, the intensity, the big moments of this sport, nothing quite like it. And there haven't been many years like this one.
Well, and you heard it in the tease when I said buckle up in a Texas Tech game, but it seems like you could say that about each game that they've had in the postseason. You have to buckle up when you play Texas Tech. They have worked through adversity. There's been a lot of late inning scoring. But for Alabama, it has not been like that until today. Now we get to see what Alabama is made of when they face adversity likely to come against this Texas Tech team.
Their backs are against the wall because of Texas Tech and the Mia Williams walk-off home run and some big swings for the Red Raiders in our first game between these two, forcing the, if necessary, second game.
Yeah, Lauren Allred got all into one, and so did Mia Williams, of course, with the walk-off that she hit. Taylor Panel off the glove of Vandegrift that looked like she had a chance to catch it and did not go her way. But the biggest swing, maybe the swing of the day, is off the bat of Mia Williams. As you mentioned, her first career walk-off home run. It was a no-doubter to give Texas Tech the win.
And Nyjah Kennedy ended up getting that win, closing the game. And no surprise, Amanda, she'll start with their season on the line.
You know she wants the ball in this elimination game where it is win or go home and a chance to play for a national championship again like she did last year where she led Texas Tech to the finals.
So Nyjah getting to start in game two. Jocelyn Brisky, a shorter start in game one, was removed in the fourth inning. Not terribly effective. She hasn't lost back-to-back starts all year, and if that'll be the case again, Alabama will get to the champ finals.
Jocelyn Brisky has been exceptional this year, except for her start today. Texas Tech was very patient. She did not throw her best game, but maybe it's coming. She is the SEC Pitcher of the Year for a reason, and here before today, she had been getting tons of swings and misses. She had been dominant, controlling up and down in the strike zone. She has to know going into this last game today that she did not pitch her best, and that Texas Tech has not seen her best yet today.
Alabama pitching dominant through 7 games of the tournament. 5 runs, 3 homers. 5 runs, 3 homers in the semifinal alone. Only the 5th time we've had both semifinals pushed to an if necessary game in World Series history. Will it be a rematch of last year's champ finals or this year's SEC tournament final? Let's find out. The Texas Tech starting lineup for their second game today is brought to you by Capital One. Mia Williams yesterday became the 6th 25-homer, 20-steal player in Division I history. Home run number 26 will go down as one of the biggest swings in Texas Tech history. That's the lineup for Jerry Glasgow and Jocelyn Briskey after 3 1/3 innings and 59 pitches of 2-run ball in the opener. Gets the ball in game 2.
And Jocelyn Briskey is going to pound the strike zone, throws a lot of first pitch strikes. Texas Tech in game 1 earlier today came out swinging and looking for those strikes across the plate.
The final game of the softball season before the Champ Series. Monday Night Softball, Part 4 from Oklahoma City. And Briskey begins the game with a swinging strike on Mia Williams. 9:09 is our first pitch, 3 hours and 2 minutes after our first pitch of the evening session. The winner to the championship finals, where the second-seeded and defending national champion Texas Longhorns awaits. Mike White and his crew, no doubt, watching this game with extreme interest. Williams with a ground ball back through the box. She ended game 1 with a homer, and she begins game 2 with a single.
Briskey's going to split the zone vertically, meaning she will go up in the zone with her rise and down in the zone with her drop. She wants Texas Tech to chase her rise ball up and out of the zone like they showed earlier today, but just adjusted well. 3 strikeouts in the game against Texas Tech. The one pitch that was missing for her was her drop ball. It got flat and just was not as effective as what we saw in her first 2 complete game wins here.
Struck out 4, walked 1, 6 hits, 2 earned, and 3 1/3. Maya Davis slaps one into the ground. So for you early, if you're looking for signs of what will be a different Jocelyn Briskey, is it all about that drop ball?
Yeah, it is about that drop ball. Are they coming in for a strike? Is Texas Tech making hard contact with that pitch like Mia Williams did?
Plate umpire for game 2 here is Chelsea Clark. Robbie Guest, Brian Crochet, and Brett Higgins are first to third. Maya Davis in the opener was 0 for 3. Struck out looking in the first on a Briskey drop ball. And Davis into left field here. Audrey Vandegrift on to make the catch for the game's first out. Who do you give the edge to? Do you give it to Texas Tech given the way game 1 ended? Or do you give it to Alabama given the fact that maybe Briskey is a little fresher than the 2 Tech pitchers?
I'd give it to Alabama, knowing that Briskey did not pitch her best in the first time that these 2 teams met up just a couple of hours ago.
Allred smokes one off the glove of the shortstop, Salem Hawkins, and another hard hit ball. Lauren Allred, who homered off of Briskey in game 1, has a base hit.
But with that being said, if they're going to barrel her up like this, then the edge is going to go to Texas Tech all day long. They're going to pick up where they left off against Briskey. 2 hard hit balls already in this inning. She has to find the corners with that drop ball and find a way to get it to wiggle down.
Jackie Liss. Obvious statement for folks who've been paying attention, but bears repeating and worth noting for the newcomers. Texas Tech, one of the best offenses in the history of the sport this season. Their offense statistically much better than Alabama's, and Alabama's a good team, 6.5 runs per game. Texas Tech, though against weaker competition overall, 9.5. So they have on paper the lineup edge, which makes it even more incumbent upon Briskey to win the duel in the circle.
Well, and with how these games have gone at the World Series, we've seen several walk-offs. It's important for Alabama that they are the home team and they will have the final at bat in this game.
2-strike pitch on Liz. Struck her out swinging. Briskey with her first K of the nightcap.
You come out here and you have a chance to be different. Low rise ball outside, gets a swing and miss. That is a good sign for Briskey to throw that pitch through the zone and get the swing and miss of Liz for the second out.
And now Taylor Pannell, whose last at bat ended up as a tie-breaking 2-run homer in the 5th. The ball that just eluded Audrey Vandegrift's glove at the left field wall. A little soft ground ball here. Hawkins charges, makes the play. A better start for Brisky. She strands a pair, and the Tide will take their hacks against Nigeri Kennedy.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Jocelyn Brisky dodged a 2-on-1-out rally in the top of the first, and here is the Alabama starting lineup to support her. It's brought to you by Capital One. In another universe, this is one of the big swings in Alabama softball history. Jenna Young's 2-run, 1-out homer in the top of the 7th sent the game to the bottom of the inning before the walk-off from Mia Williams. It's been a phenomenal World Series for Young, and she will lead off against Nigeri Kennedy, extending her World Series record, pitching on this stage for a historic 19th time in 4 years.
One of the best to ever do it on this field. We've seen her 4 years, 2 in a Stanford uniform and 2 in a Texas Tech uniform. Nigeri Kennedy loves to pitch under the lights on this field. She is made for the big moment.
For the 3rd straight game, we say this could be the end for Kennedy. And for a 3rd straight game, she and Texas Tech look to defy the softball Grim Reaper. Over the last 27 hours, Kennedy has thrown now 123 pitches. Caitlin Terry, 149. Terry starts the game in left field. Likely Jerry Glasgow will use both in the circle again. And the question is, and I ask you this, what kind of juice do you think those two will have in their arms?
I think they're going to find some juice. This is where you dig deep, and it is totally mind over matter in this situation. You aren't even really thinking about how tired you are. You were thinking about competing.
Jenna Young with a soft ground ball to Jackie Liss for a ground out to start the bottom of the 1st.
Nigeri Kennedy, known for her rise bulb and throwing her screw a lot to the left-handed hitters to move that pitch away. Of course, she still has the explosive rise ball up in the zone at 72 and a changeup that has been hit and miss today when we have seen her, and even going back to yesterday in the days of the Women's College World Series this year, that changeup has been there sometimes and they're not.
Strike one to Brooke Wells. What can she do to recalibrate that changeup tonight?
I think sell it. The way that she has given that pitch away tells me she's thinking too much about it. And I think hitters are seeing it in her motion. The best Nigeri Kennedy changeup is going to be one where she does not hold back at all. She has full aggressive windup and arm circle and leg drive where an Alabama hitter cannot pick it up in her motion. Like that. That was better. You could not tell in the middle of that pitch that she was about to throw a changeup. So it's going to be important for her to keep her arm speed up and leg drive up to fool these Alabama hitters with that pitch. It is going to have to be a must in this game.
163rd game Nigeri Kennedy's pitched in her college career. 1-2 for the powerful Brooke Wells, and Wells leans but does not offer. Wells was 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, hit by a pitch in the helmet in the opener. 2 for 8 at the World Series, hit by 2 pitches, a walk and a 3-run home run. The at-bats were not bad in game 1 for Bama. They had 4 runs on 10 hits, plus a hit batter. 8 of the 9 Bama hitters reached safely. And now a discussion here between Patrick Murphy, Brooke Wells, and Chelsea Clark.
Discussing a potential hit by pitch here.
Did that graze the knuckles of the hand?
Yeah.
It appears the call on the field was no hit by pitch, and Patrick Murphy can challenge this call. We're going to get Brian Crochet, the second base umpire, to come in.
The ruling on the field was a foul tip that was caught for a 3rd strike, and the batter is out. However, Alabama is challenging this call for a hit by pitch. This play is under further review.
So the call on the field is a foul tip, strike 3. Does this hit the bat or the hand or nothing? It doesn't look like it clearly hits the bat there. The call on the field, though, is a foul tip, strike 3. You need indisputable video evidence to overturn. How about some audio evidence for you?
Ball. I foul ball with anything. I got a foul ball. Off the knob.
Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, is here. Christy, what are you seeing?
What we're going to be looking for here is indisputable video evidence. It looked like it might hit the knob. It also looks like it hit her hand. It's going to be hard to say which came first. I don't think we have enough evidence to change this call.
And that's what the standard is, indisputable to overturn the call on the field of a foul tip, strike 3. What are you seeing when you look at these replays?
I don't see a foul tip, but I don't see it hit her. Could they possibly change this to just a ball? Is that an option or no, Christy?
It looks to me like it nicks her hand, and that's the call on the field. So they're going to have indisputable evidence that it missed both the bat
After
and
review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a foul tip, and it was caught for an out. This will be Alabama's first challenge. They will have 1 remaining.
Right, so didn't have the indisputable evidence. So a really odd play.
Yeah.
If that was not called a foul tip, there's certainly no way it would have been overturned to a foul tip. But that was a call Chelsea Clark made, and it's a strikeout for Kennedy. And now Alexis Papillo. Alabama probably needs more from some critical bats in this game, and Papillo did have an infield single in the 7th in game 1, but 2 for 11 at the World Series with 5 strikeouts. Her at-bats have not been great since that 2-run home run on Thursday, which was a game-tying homer against UCLA. But a 3rd-team All-Americans had one of the best power-hitting seasons in Alabama history. And she spoils an 0-2 here.
When you could tell that Coach Murphy just continues to believe in her in that 3 spot because he has not moved her. Just thinking that at any moment she's about to get on one and stop chasing and have a better AB. A lot of belief in this senior.
Remember, she had homered in both LSU games in the Super Regional and homered in 3 straight games going into Saturday for the first time this season. 1-2 from Kennedy, looking for a 1-2-3 first. And she has got it. 2 Ks for Kennedy and a perfect first inning for the former National Pitcher of the Year and National Player of the Year.
This is old hat for Nyjah Kennedy. This rise ball in these moments, out of her hand, getting the chase, an explosive rise ball, 71 up in the zone, and she gets 2 Ks in the first inning.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City as we enter into the second inning. Alabama ace Jocelyn Briskey back in the circle for this game 2 after struggling in game 1. I caught up with Alabama pitching coach Lance McMahon between games, and I asked him what his message to Jocelyn was. He reiterated, trust your routine, trust your preparation, reminded Jocelyn that they have yet to see her best stuff. He said she's been punched in the mouth before, reminded her that she has bounced back from that. He also tapped into the mental side of all the work she's done in the last 365 days to get stronger mentally to be ready for this moment.
And it's been an enormous change for her, Alyssa, year over year. A season ago, as a sophomore, a 2.99 ERA, but a pretty high walk rate, not a high strikeout rate. She's dialed in this year. Last year in the postseason, Briskey started 3 games, pitched in 6, had a 5.09 ERA. So a much, much more dangerous pitcher this year, and she will need a quick bounce back. Fouled away by Jazzy Burns. It's 0-2.
Jocelyn Briskey told us that she made a decision this summer that she wanted to be better. She wanted to be a better teammate and put in the work a little bit more. It's just incredible the turnaround that Jocelyn Briskey has had from last year to this year, and an award that isn't really an award. I'm giving it to her, the most improved player in 2026, at least pitching wise. She's just been able to take command of games and throw a ton of complete games, go at hitters, work from ahead. 25 wins this season, a 1.35 ERA, and opponents just hitting 170 off of her.
Goes back after Burns, who grounded it, she thinks, off of herself. Chelsea Clark she said grounded off her foot. Didn't see Chelsea make a signal here. Jerry Glasgow is going to call for challenge. I guess Chelsea Clark did not rule it off her foot, though he heard her ask Burns, and it clearly hit her toe. That's obviously a foul ball. Jerry's going, do I have to?
The ruling on the field was the batted ball was fair. Texas Tech is challenged. The ball came off the batter's foot in the box. This play is under further review.
All right, this should be the quickest review of the World Series.
Yes.
Each team gets 2 challenges. If you get it right, you retain. So Texas Tech will have both of its challenges remaining after this is overturned. And it'll still be 1-2 on Burns, who's the designated player in game 2. Caught for the first few innings of game 1.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The ball came off the batter's foot inside the box. It would be a foul ball.
There we go. Nice expedited delivery on that call, thanks to the folks in the replay review room here. Burns one hit at the World Series. It was a home run in the second inning yesterday in the 8-7 win over UCLA, a 9-inning affair. And another 1-2. Ball. Now going back to Jocelyn Briskey, a fabulous, fabulous fall, a perfect start to the year. She has really never hit a rough patch this season. Burns, fair ball, not off her foot, and she's out. What a play by Taylor, down from third. The freshman charging to get the out.
That was such a great defensive play by Taylor. Watch her get around this ball to put herself into a better position to make that throw on the run. And the transfer, too, was not easy. There's spin in her glove and spin to her hand.
Good duck and cover by her pitcher, too. That was right on line to Briskey, who had to quickly get in the squat. 1-0 for Caitlin Terry, starting the game in left field. Will we see her in the circle? She started game 1 through 4 1/3 innings, 70 pitches, allowed 3 runs. 2-0 for Terry. That's ripped past second base. A torpedo of a base hit for Terry. her 4th knock at this World Series.
Terry, the past couple of games, has just really been letting her barrel fly through the zone, and she is swinging hard on a pitch that is belt high, not letting it get past her in a hitter's count. That's what a 2-0 swing looks like in a hitter's count when you're looking to drive the ball.
Haley Tony had a big game 1. Chases strike 1. Remember, Brisky had not allowed a hit with a runner in scoring position in the whole NCAA tournament. Batters were 0 for 15 until Tony's 0-2 two-out double in the second. Haley played the field the first 2 Tech games but did not bat. Jerry Glasgow's made the right move, inserting her back into the batting order. She's 4 out of 8. Strikes out swinging here, though. And that's 2 Ks for Brisky.
You asked me what to look for. It's this pitch right here, having this movement on this corner and her being able to work this right at the knees on the inner half to lefties and righties. Gets a swing and miss to Tony on the drop ball and bounces right back after that hard hit by Terry.
Now, Lagi Quiroga, who did not bat in the first game, came into the game at the end to catch. Transfer from Cal. Tech was 4 for 9 runners on in game 1. Just 1 for 5 to start tonight. And a ball to Quiroga, who was an all-ACC first-teamer at California last year. 346, 1,074 OPS, and the numbers even better in her 3rd season in college. First at Texas Tech.
Ball.
Game 1, Brisky gave up that 2-out Tony RBI in the second inning. Changeup gets a strike here.
Mixing that pitch in a little bit more, finding the inner half, trying to mix that pitch alongside her drop ball to give her a different look down in the zone.
Trying to get out of 2 scoreless innings. Quiroga, a very high fly ball down the line, and this time Vandegrift jumps, but she has no play. I'm going to tell you, anything near the wall, Audrey Vandegrift will not be flat-footed in this game. Just so much depth in this Tech lineup. A hitter with real power and patience in the 9th spot.
And going up against him, this lineup is just so talented, 1 through 9. It is a grind for a pitcher mentally, knowing that any of them can hit the long ball. They swing really hard. They're so aggressive.
It's an all-star offense.
Ball.
A lineup of 9 batters, 8 of whom began their career elsewhere. There's Mia Williams, the leadoff hitter. Only Haley Tony, a sophomore, started her career at Texas Tech. Ground ball over to second base. That will do it for a scoreless second. It's a sharp start for Brisky. The middle of the Bama order against Nyjah Kennedy when we come back.
Alabama players trying to prove a point that they can play in this rain.
Locke ties it up, going for the lead. The throw to the plate, not in time. Alabama wears their first national championship.
The SEC's first national championship went to Patrick Murphy's Crimson Tide, who finally knocked down the door in 2012, coming back from a Game 1 loss to beat Oklahoma 8-6 and 5-4 in the best-of-3 series. The memorable championship game. Jackie Traina, a complete game after a 3-hour rain delay started the game, a second delay during it. And it was the kind of team and the kind of run that made softball fans think, could there be a mini dynasty, a big run brewing for Alabama? That's their only title to date. Marley Giles takes a strike from Nyjah Kennedy. Alabama 16 appearances at the World Series out of 30 seasons for the program, and take out COVID, 29 with a postseason. Only UCLA, Arizona, and Alabama have made the World Series more than half of their seasons. Giles muscles one to shortstop for out number 1, and they've come close. They've been to the semis 8 times. They've only been to the finals 1 other time. That was in 2014 when they beat Oregon in the semis. Traina had a shutout, and our colleague, SEC Network, Haley McClenny, had the winning home run in the 5th. But that Alabama team would lose to Florida in the Champ Finals. And it's got to feel like a long 12 years for Alabama fans waiting to get back. And they and Texas Tech are both 1 win away from a championship finals return.
It started to feel like that was the rise of the SEC when Alabama broke through and became the first SEC team to win a national championship, because then Florida did it in 14 and 15. Then there was a little bit of a drought. Other teams getting in on the national championship action.
Strike 3 right down the middle. Anna Roman is frozen. And a great start for Kennedy. 3 Ks and 5 outs in a row.
Oh, look at where Quiroga is set up on the outside corner, and where this pitch ends up, that is a miss. You see Quiroga reach back over the heart of the plate to get that. That is right down the middle, and Roman is just frozen.
Audrey Vandegrift chases likely ball 1 now. 5 out of 6 first pitch strikes for Kennedy. You need to be efficient in a game where Texas Tech has already played twice in the last 27 hours. Nyjah 122 pitches the last 2 days coming into this one. But she is 1 pitch away from just 22 pitches in the first 2 innings. Two strikes on Vandegrift.
You're just tuning in for this game, and you might not be aware that Texas Tech likes to go back and forth between Nyjah Kennedy and Caitlin Terry. They've been doing this for several games now, working them in tandem and having each other's back.
A dribbler down to first will end a perfect second. Kennedy has been efficient. Kennedy has been dominant. And Mia Williams, who sent Texas Tech here with a walk-off home run, will lead us off in the 3rd. resilient Red Raiders have done it again. Down but never out. These Texas Tech Red Raiders stand on the precipice of a return trip to the Champ Finals with a much deeper and stronger lineup. And their leadoff hitter, a Florida transfer, who has etched her name atop the Texas Tech record books in her junior year. Leading off the third against Jocelyn Brisky, Williams flies one into the gap and left center field for a hit. Vandegrift cuts it off, and Williams is 2 for 2 in this game and 3 for her last 3 on semifinal Monday.
She's been locked in. It's a little bit jammed with this pitch, but gets enough of it and finds a hole out in left center field for it just to float in. Mia Williams finds another way to get on.
Great speed at first against Brisky. Maya Davis shows a bunt. Davis hoping to extend her amazing career. It's her 257th game played, most among active players. Leads active players in hits, steals, tied for first in runs. There goes Williams, and the pitch fouled away. A stolen base attempt, but a foul ball supersedes it, and it's 1-1. Jerry Glasgow, the coach of Maya Davis for the last 4 years, 2 at Louisiana, and the last 2 here at Texas Tech. Up and in. Where did it get her? The bat or the batter? It's a hit by pitch. Davis tried to get out of the way, but she is hit by a pitch, and the first 2 Tech batters are on in the third.
Trying to pull her barrel back out of the way when she's squared around. Looks like it just hit her hand. Yep. It's gonna hurt.
And a surprising lack of control for Jocelyn Brisky. 2 on, nobody out, as Jerry Glasgow has his team together in foul territory. And Jocelyn Brisky stands alone in the circle. Well, the batter is Lauren Allred. Already a sharp shot to shortstop for a single, and this is what she did off Brisky in game 1.
It's what she did, and it's what she's capable of. So much power in that bottom half for Lauren Allred, who is going to turn around to bunt now after you see that home run. Jerry Glasgow understanding that he can advance these runners 60 feet and have a couple of opportunities with 2 runners in scoring position if she could put that bunt down.
She's going to try to get her first sack bunt of the season out of Lauren Allred. Or is he? Now ball 1. This Texas Tech team, this offense, it just feels like a ticking time bomb for opposing pitchers. So much pressure being put on the SEC pitcher of the year, Brisky, early. Allred waits back and lashes one foul.
A good swing there. You saw her hold back on that changeup and pick it up out of Brisky's hands. So in this at bat, even with 2 strikes, I think after that swing, Allred is not going to be worried about seeing that changeup again. She can sit on something 68, 69 and protect with 2 strikes.
Got a quick word of wisdom from her head coach. Great speed around with Williams and Davis. Allred fists one over to the left side and caught by the shortstop Hawkins. That's out number 1.
It's a great job by Brisky to go right back to the inside corner. Sometimes as a pitcher, after that hit by pitch that she did to Davis, you could be scared to go back up and in to a left-handed hitter. But after that changeup that Allred fouled off, she went up and in on her hands to jam her.
Jackie Liss, a strikeout in the first. Down the line and foul. Coming into today, Jocelyn Brisky had only allowed 3 hits the first time through the lineup. Twice against Texas and then 1 time against Liberty. That's 3 times on the year. Texas Tech has done it in both games tonight. Now 4 hits, 5 base runners, looking for the breakthrough. A changeup, and Brisky's ahead 0-2. 21 home runs for Liss, 45 walks, a team high on base percentage. Second best slugging, a great all-around hitter who opened the World Series with a home run. He's been a little bit quiet since.
Ball.
2-2 from Brieske.
Ball.
Outside 3-2. Jackie Liss, 5th in the nation among active players in home runs. 3 years at Southern Illinois, 1 year at Texas Tech, but she goes down swinging for a second time tonight.
And you got to find the strike zone with Liss. She has such a good eye. You have to challenge her over the heart of the plate, and Brieske did. Rise ball through the zone and gets a swing and miss from Liss.
Now Taylor Panel. From pretty much pitch one, this has been a dance on the wire for Jocelyn Brieske.
Ball.
Texas Tech's had the leadoff hitter on twice and the second hitter on the other inning. Tech 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position in this 2-game semifinal. Taylor Panel takes ball 2.
And that's how good that Brieske has been in the NCAA tournament, and how well Texas Tech saw her in game 1, chased her early. She had a couple of complete games here at the Women's College World Series, but her regional and super regional appearances had been dominant. They had been absolute money. You can see that she's continuing to work through some stuff. Coach Murphy likely sharing some deep belief with her in this situation, that she could do it, that she's the woman for the job, that she can believe in that preparation and take a deep breath, stick to her routine like Alyssa talked about. Coach McMahon had said to her, her pitching coach as well, and she can do this.
We'll see if she can against Panel. 2 on 2 out. Panel, fly ball, shallow right field, and after the meeting at the mound for Murph, Brieske once again wriggles out of the straitjacket. She scattered 4 hits and she keeps it scoreless. Final acts for Nyjah Kennedy, who started her career as a freshman of the year at Stanford, then became the player of the year as a Stanford sophomore. Transferred to Texas Tech, where she was named National Pitcher of the Year, and in search of her 11th World Series complete game. A 1.99 ERA, entering today at the World Series, and she has changed programs. Stanford had been to the World Series twice. Nyjah got them there twice with Elena Vaughter as a 1-2 punch her freshman year. Texas Tech had never been to the World Series. Felt like at times Nyjah single-handedly dragged them to the finish line last year, and they're here for a second straight year as well. Feels like her impact, Amanda, has been a little bit bigger because she didn't go the traditional power program route.
Yeah, and she's just been able to walk into the circle and take control of games ever since she was a freshman, and she has had this ripple effect with fans that have watched her pitch. They just are captivated by her energy and the swing and miss and the strikeout and her ability to pitch and dominate in big games. Ooh. We have seen her do it year after year after year, and under a lot of pressure too. The two Stanford teams and last year's Texas Tech team did not have big offenses like this year's team, and so a lot of different type of pressure was put on her, knowing that she had to be perfect, that she couldn't give up many runs because her offenses weren't going to score a lot of runs for her. So I think that's why we've learned to look at her and be kind of amazed by her, because she hasn't had a ton of run support and she's still been able to win games on her own.
Ambry Taylor off the end of the bat to second as we go down to Alyssa.
Yeah, and she's talked about just her vantage point of growing the game as well, specifically at Texas Tech. She said, you know, last year we used to be able to go out and about around Lubbock and no one would really know who we are. This year, people are coming up to us for photos. We need security sometimes while we're signing autographs. She's really proud of what she's done to not only grow softball, but Texas Tech specifically. And Jerry Glasgow told me she's been an incredible teammate while doing it.
From Topeka, Kansas, was a big recruit. No doubt was a big get for Stanford. Maybe not one of the top couple of recruits in the country on paper, but it quickly became apparent the kind of talent and force she had. Salyn Hawkins forcefully into center, and Hawkins out of the 8th spot is the first Alabama base runner.
Well, Texas Tech's softball program was not one of the blue bloods in our sport by any means. I mean, they had not been to a super regional, or surely not been to a Women's College World Series. And last year, Texas Tech had a lot of firsts because of Jerry Glasgow taking over as head coach. And his number one goal was to get somebody like Nyjah Kennedy to join the program and create all these firsts and all these memories and create new Texas Tech softball fans and bring a lot of attention to Texas Tech as a university as well.
One of the players he brought with him, Lauren Allred, a lot of Louisiana Raging Cajuns joined him. Kristen White back to Kennedy in the circle, and she gets the lead out at second.
And something else that just stood out to me over the last couple of days of watching Nyjah on this stage, guys, was last night when Caitlin Terry was in the circle and Nyjah was standing at first base. I'm sitting down here on the third base line, and I could hear her cheering so loudly for her teammate from here. And Jerry said that she was a key part of helping this group gel together. That's always been her personality, to be a great teammate.
Unsurprisingly, Alyssa, it took a long time for a team that brought in a boatload of high-profile transfers to gel together. And Jerry Glasgow's talked about this. He said this week, this is now one of the closest teams I've ever had. Wasn't that way from the start. High to Jenna Young. There goes White. The throw right into the runner. And White is safe at second.
I got time.
And crashing into Mia Williams.
You got a minute. Take your time.
Well, and this throw almost hits Nyjah. Look at her duck, and then she fell, thinking that that throw was coming right at her. And then umpire at second base is going to call obstruction anyway. But collision there at second with Mia Williams trying to go for that ball and clear obstruction there. But that was a close call with the throw, a low throw going right past Kennedy's head.
A White to second and a 1-1 count now on Jenna Young. And before that, a visit to the circle from Tara Archibald, Jerry Glasgow's daughter and Texas Tech's pitching coach.
Talking over the game plan to Jenna Young, who had a big home run last game.
A little outfield visit as well.
He's a defensive coach on staff, Hunter Veach. Not oftentimes you see in a timeout that a coach is going to head out to the grass. Usually they call people in to meet them on the dirt, but he's going to get some extra steps in on a long day where his team has already played a game today, a late game last night.
Good to remind you to hydrate as well. 86 degrees at first pitch tonight. It was 95 at first pitch game 1, and the feels like temperature in the first game today reached over 100. A long and exhausting day here in Oklahoma City, but a thrilling day. 1-1 to Young.
Yes.
Goes right after it with strike 2. Man.
That was some high heat. 70 up in the zone, getting the Jenny Young swing and miss.
Kennedy looking for a scoreless third.
Ball. And Texas Tech has now played 3 one-run games here. They've been under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. You saw Jerry Glasgow drinking that water, getting used to these close games with so much meaning and this season on the line.
White the runner at second. Young into center. Davis comes on to make the catch. Kennedy out of her first jam of any kind in the game. 4 innings left and no runs yet to be found.
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's College World Series presented by Capital One. Here with Texas Tech head coach Jerry Glasgow. Coach, just saw you pull your team aside and fire them up. What'd you say?
I told them, remember how bad they wanted it in the bottom of the 7th when they had 3 outs to go. And they got to want it that bad right now. You know, you can't let the number of innings you play, the time of day, you got to go back to just simply want it. And then we got to put life in the barrel. We're taking half swings. We're not putting really good swings on the ball. We need to put life in our barrel and really whip the bat here.
What are you seeing from Nyjah in the circle so far?
Greatness. Fantastic. She's so comfortable right now. She looks absolutely great in the circle, and we just need to give her some support and give her a little cushion.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
I love that Jerry Glasgow, before Alyssa could even put the mic in his face, started answering that question. Greatness. Seeing greatness from Nyjah Kennedy, who's thrown 9 of 10 first pitch strikes, retired 9 of 10 hitters, but her team just 1 for 9 with runners on base. Here's a deep drive by Burns. No half swing there. Texas Tech fires the first volley in this winner take all semi. Message delivered, message received.
That's what you love to see as a head coach, that you give that message and your team responds like Jazzy Burns. This is her 2nd home run at the Women's College World Series. Her only 2 hits have been home runs. Talking about life in our barrel, that's what it looks like. Big time life in that swing by Burns.
Caitlin Terry goes after the next pitch and grounds it out to second. Jocelyn Brisky had worked around so many jams. The first pitch of the 4th inning, the first pitch after that fiery talk from Jerry Glasgow, ends up in the bleachers as the former Ohio State Buckeye Burns makes it 1-0 Texas Tech in the 4th.
Ball. There have been a couple of times this year that Jerry Glasgow had challenged Jazzy Burns, even taking her out of the lineup, wanting her to have that response. And she is the type of player that knows how to respond when her coach is expecting a little more of her.
Haley Toney skewers one to left and out into the glove of Vandegrift. 4 pitches, 3 of them put in play or out of play. Aggressive swings and a 1-0 Texas Tech lead as Lagi Quiroga will hit. So many of these great players came to Texas Tech this season. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Texas Tech and the NIL money they have spent. The Matador Club, their NIL arm, they have turned this softball program into a powerhouse. These players have all said one degree of, or one varying degree of another, how much they came here because they wanted to win, wanted to be part of a team with Nyjah Kennedy, wanted to be a national champion. Make no mistake, this was a team constructed to win a national championship.
Ball.
They want to win the national championship for her as badly as anybody. And now she's got a 1-0 lead, which often in Nyjah Kennedy's career has been all that she needs. Quiroga into left field, got under it. But the first inning of offensive consequence in our semifinal final.
Remember how bad you wanted. Jazzy Burns hits a home run to break up this shutout game, and Jazzy Burns gets all of it for her 19th home run and answers her coach's call.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, joined now by Alabama head coach Patrick Murphy. Coach, in the 3rd inning, we saw you go out to the circle and have a meeting with Jocelyn. What did you say to her?
I said you had a lot left. She has a lot more left in her. Sometimes our mind says, I don't have much left. Our body has 40% left, just like a Navy SEAL. She has a lot left in her.
What do you need to see from your offense to get some hits off Nyjah?
I think the same thing as the first game. We need to cut down our swings just a little bit. If we're going to miss, we're going to miss on top of the ball, not underneath, because there's too many easy outs. Pop-ups are too easy.
Saw you look up to your fan base back here. What are they doing for you tonight?
I know that you appreciate your bosses. So do I. Our president, Dr. Muller's here. My boss, Greg Byrne, is here. And Kalen DeBoer, the head football coach at Alabama. I can't tell you how much that means to all of us to have all 3 here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Patrick Murphy with a shout out to the bosses everywhere. under the watchful eye of some of the folks in the Alabama administration and the football coach, Kalen DeBoer. He is trying to take the Tide into the championship finals for the first time in 12 years. They're going to have to come back here to do it. Brooke Wells, first pitch rip against Nigeri Kennedy. The big bats in the lineup. Wells, Papillo, and Giles are up. And what has been a free and easy start for Kennedy. Just one single allowed in 3 innings, and she's been ahead of 10 of the 11 Tide hitters. Up the ladder to get a chase for strike 2. The way Nija's pitching, the way Texas Tech has pressured Jocelyn Brisky, it feels a lot more than 1-0.
Texas Tech has 5 hits. Alabama just has 1. I think that's a big part of it. And of course, when you look out there and see Nija Kennedy, you can't help but think about what she's done here on this stage, on this field, and how powerful she is. Just a tough force to go up against, especially when her collegiate career is on the line.
Another 0-2 for Wells. Brooke Wells told us that Patrick Murphy gave her a card after an 0-for-8 Super Regionals. All her teammates hugged her. He said, 1 week doesn't define you. In the first World Series game, she hit the game-winning 3-run homer. Waits back on this pitch, but only as far as medium left center for out number 1. The Women's College World Series Championship Finals begins Wednesday on ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for NCAA championships. We know the Texas Longhorns will be there to defend their title. Texas has now won a staggering 6 elimination games in the postseason, 2 in the Super Regionals against Arizona State, and 4 here at the World Series after dropping the opener to Tennessee. They roared back to beat Tennessee twice today. And the stage could be set for a Texas Tech rematch in the champ finals. Papillo over to second base, another quick out.
Well, and how about that start by Citlali Gutierrez to start the day? Game 1 of 4. She got the start for Texas and pitched an absolute gem. Texas started to score a bunch of runs, grab some offensive momentum, and then handed the ball to Tegan Cavan in game 2. And she looked like Tegan Cavan from last year, where she was most outstanding player here in the national championship.
Well, we have never had a championship series rematch. There have been 3 rematches in 1-game championship finals, but in the champ final series era, never had the same champ finals back-to-back years. The last rematch for the title, it was a 1-game championship, UCLA and Cal 2003 and 04. 2-0 to Marley Giles. Is low. This could be the first champ finals rematch ever. If Alabama comes back, it will be 1 versus 2 in a rematch of the SEC tournament final won by Texas, as of course was last year's championship finals. 4-pitch walk for Giles. Kennedy very careful with a hitter who homered off of her in game 1 today. Felt like as much of a pitch around as you're ever going to see from Nija Kennedy. Waiting for a freshman, Anna Roman, and she'll get another visit from Tara Archibald. Tara was the Eastern Illinois head coach 2 years ago, 40-17. One of Jerry Glasgow's 3 daughters, all of whom have participated in the World Series. His daughter Erin played here, Texas A&M. His daughter Jerry Ann played here with Oregon. And now Jerry gets to once again share the stage with Tara. Terrific head coach and a beloved pitching coach in her 2 years, working with Kennedy, Caitlin Terry. So 5 straight out of the zone now. .170 pitches for Nyjah Kennedy over the last 28 or so hours. And Roman's taking all the way on a called strike. A very quiet World Series for the freshman from Oviedo, Florida, who got off to a good start this year. This ball awkwardly off her bat, and it will be an out. And it is a shutdown 4th inning for Nyjah Kennedy. 9 outs away from the championship finals with a 1-0 lead. Things are getting really interesting after dark at the World Series. A week of big swings, big pitches, emotion from side to side, and swings of the pendulum that have kept fans and coaches and players on their toes all week. It's one swing right now that represents the scoring. A leadoff home run in the 4th for Jazzy Burns. It's 1-0 Texas Tech, with the Red Raiders 3 innings away from the championship finals for a 2nd straight year, and top-seeded Alabama hoping for a rally. Mia Williams leads off in the 5th against Jocelyn Brisky. Texas Tech won the opening game between these teams today on a Williams walk-off homer to set up this winner-take-all, if necessary, game. Jenna Young tied that game with a 2-run homer at the top of the 7th. Williams won it on the 4th pitch in the bottom of the 7th. The winner to the championship finals in Texas. The loser season is over. Ground ball down to 3rd. Ambry Taylor throws out Mia Williams, and for just the 2nd time tonight, Jocelyn Brisky retires the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that's a big out. Anytime you get Mia Williams leading off and you are able to get her out, she is such a tone setter for this Texas Tech team that ground ball out pretty quickly.
Here's Maya Davis taking a strike 1 changeup. Hasn't been Brisky's sharpest, but it's been an effective game all the same. 4 1/3, 1 run here against one of the highest scoring teams in softball history. 4th most runs in a single season. That ball is foul. Texas Tech came into the day, remember, at 9.4 runs per game. Third in Division I in scoring, on base, slugging, and homers. Second in batting average and walks. Fifth in steals. A historic season.
Ball.
And they have Nyjri Kennedy in the circle, working on a one-hitter with one walk through 4. Line pass to first baseman Wells. Davis has a base hit, trying to make it 2, and she will. The active Division I leader in hits just picked up another.
And she is so fast, so quick twitch. This is a pitcher's count pitch that is just up in the zone, and Maya Davis is looking to hit with 2 strikes. She sees that go down the line, and with her speed, she absolutely knows that's going to be extra bases. Besides a home run, the Texas Tech hits had all been singles, and that's what has helped Brieske continue on in this game. She has limited the damage, but that is an injection of energy for Texas Tech to see that extra base hit.
Career hit number 353 for Maya Davis. A player that is going to be a big, big loss for Jerry Glasgow when this year ends. Saw Jerry tearing up talking about Maya after the Thursday win against Mississippi State. Said she's just a money player. I've been so lucky to be with her for 4 years, the first 2 at Louisiana. I don't know what I'll do next year when I have to write that lineup without Maya Davis in it. 2 strikes, 2 changeups now to Lauren Allred. Brieske's 0-2. Snagged by Giles to prevent a wild pitch.
She was full extension with that glove well over her head.
Here's a 1-2 from Brieske. Back to the changeup wide. Jocelyn Brieske's pitch count at 71 through 59 in the first game today. 3 1/3 in that game. Allred back to Brieske. Never looked at Davis. Went to first for the second out. And Davis to third with 2 away. The NBA Finals tip-off Wednesday night as the Knicks visit the Spurs in Game 1. Tip-off 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central on ABC. You can stream the finals live on the ESPN app. Jackie Liss with a runner at third, 2 down. Just quickly there, Amanda. Right play there for Brieske to go to first, not look at third?
If you don't have the confidence to make the play, then for sure go on to get an out there. Speed of Davis seemed like she just wanted to be able to get an out. If you're not going to hesitate, get that out. She could have had her even with Davis's speed, I think, but I don't know if she forgot how many outs there were or she just wanted to be sure to get that second out. Sometimes a pitcher, knows they're not confident to make that play. So could she have? Maybe in another game. I don't know. But it was just an important out to get, to have 2 outs in this inning. If she's not confident, that could have been disastrous if that throw goes wild or whatever happens.
3-1 now to Liss. Brieske has struck her out twice in the game. Tech was 4 for 10 with 2 outs in Game 1. 4 of their 5 runs came with 2 outs. Tonight, 0 for 4 with 2 outs. Ground ball hit to shortstop. Hawkins to first. Brieske gets out of it again. She's not making it easy for herself. She's held Tech to 1, and here come the Tide, still down 1. Nyjah Kennedy has a World Series shutout 3 consecutive years, trying to do so for a 4th straight year and send Texas Tech to the championship finals.
And these lefties need to make adjustments against her. A lot of rollover ground balls off the end of the bat. She is just going constantly to that outside corner. Her screwball that at times has some drop to it. Has 3 strikeouts, 2 with her rise ball. But that screwball moving away from these left-handed hitters, there needs to be an adjustment made. Audrey Vandegrift is a lefty leading off this inning. She can set the tone for everybody else with a good AB here.
First pitch fouled off the mask of Lagi Quiroga, the Texas Tech catcher. Ceylon Hawkins had a 1-out single in the 3rd. Marley Giles a 2-out walk in the 4th. That's it. It's not been the classic overpowering start for Kennedy. 3 strikeouts from the first 5 batters, none since. But it's been what Texas Tech needs. It's been efficient. Pitch count at just 51. Remember, they've played an extra game over the last 2 days. In fact, they played a couple of extra innings. Had to beat UCLA in 9 innings yesterday and had to win the first game today to force this winner-take-all game with Alabama.
Yeah, Nyjah Kennedy to these lefties doesn't go inside as much with her rise ball. That has been the scouting report on her. Not as much with her rise, not as much with her curve on the inner half. She stays on the arm side.
Goes in with a changeup, and there's the 4th strikeout. First one since the 2nd inning for Nyjah.
You're so worried about 70, 72, and you want to beat it, and then she beats you with the 58-mile-an-hour changeup as she speeds you up. She sells that pitch so well when she is at her best.
Ambry Taylor, the freshman, rolled over to 2nd.
Ball.
In the last couple of games, we've been on pitching change watch. When Jerry Glasgow is going to make the move, get Terry in, then Kennedy, then Terry, then Kennedy. We hardly thought about Caitlin Terry in this game. It's been all Nyjah all the time. Strike to Taylor, 1-1. Amazing. She only has 2 7-inning complete games all year. None since March 20th. Now, part of that is A&M just run-ruled everybody in the regular season. But her innings and her workload way down this season, in part to prepare her for a moment like this. Texas A&M, UCF, the only teams Nyjah Kennedy threw a 7-inning complete game against this year. Tech team that run-ruled in 39 of their 60 wins this year, having to dig deep and deep tonight. There's her counterpart, Brisky. Strike 3 for Taylor. Back-to-back punch-outs.
A rise ball with a little bit of curve to it as well. She gets underneath this pitch and gets another swing and miss. Back-to-back strikeouts in this 5th inning. And Nyjah Kennedy might just be getting stronger here late in the game, which is not what we've seen from Texas Tech pitchers in the NCAA tournament. They have given up a lot of runs on in the 5th inning on. Could this be different?
Here's the only Bama player with a hit, Ceylon Hawkins. Just her 2nd of the World Series, and she'll go talk to her head coach. Game 1 semifinal, 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Pitch well, but not like this. This feels like, Amanda, one of those Stanford games from 23 or 24, one of those Texas Tech games from last year where it felt like every pitch Nyjah threw for 3 years was trailing by 1, up by 1, or tied.
So many close games. low scoring close games.
Ball.
Between June 2023 and Game 3 of last year, 25, at the World Series, threw nearly 1,000 consecutive pitches for her teams in World Series games. 9 straight complete games in that span. 997 straight pitches for Stanford in 23 and 24, and Tech in 25. And coming into tonight, an ERA in the tournament this year of .558. 8 home runs, 26 and a third innings, more than a hit per inning. Simply had not looked like Nigeri Kennedy. Good fight here by Hawkins. Second-year shortstop, transfer from Mississippi State. Has not homered since February 24th against UAB. Contact hitter, good defender. Patrick Murphy said she should be a Gold Glove caliber player.
Ball. Well, with the amount of times that Jerry Glasgow likes to make pitching changes that we've seen here, the one way to not have him go to that is to pitch like how Nyjah is pitching here.
Down to first base and Liss. It's vintage Nyjah. 6 outs away from a return engagement in the championship finals.
With my hat hung up and my boots ain't on. Thoughts in my head have a mind of their own. I'm climbing up the walls, I'm going down here. I can't sit still. I ain't cut my breath.
One moment of Raider power at the plate from Jazzy Burns. 5 innings worth of Raider power in the circle for Nigeri Kennedy. Texas Tech leads Alabama 1-0 in the final game of our 4-game semifinal Monday. The winner faces Texas Wednesday night in the national championship finals. The Longhorns, the defending champs, had to beat Tennessee twice today and did. 5-2 win in the opener. Then Tegan Cavan, a shutout in game 2. And in our opening game here, Texas Tech's Mia Williams hit a walk-off home run. There's only been 3 or 2 occurrences. This would be the 3rd of what would happen if Texas Tech wins today. Line to the left, Taylor Panel drops in a hit. Panel can really run here. She'll hold it first as the new left fielder Lauren Johnson gets it in. 6 innings for Texas Tech. They've got a hit in all 6 off Jocelyn Brisky.
Well, if you're Texas Tech, you really like some insurance runs here. Even with the way that Nyjah Kennedy is pitching, we have seen how many walk-offs there have been at the Women's College World Series. Late inning scoring, no run, no lead. Ever feels big enough.
Here's the home run hitter Burns going after the first pitch. The only times that both teams who came out of the losers bracket have won twice in the semifinals. 2003 it happened, where Cal beat Arizona twice and UCLA beat Kat Osterman at Texas twice. UCLA would win the title game 1-0 on Akira Gerald 9-inning no-hitter. And then it happened in 2021, but with a little bit of an asterisk. Bad weather meant that both of those semifinals were played over 2 days. Oklahoma beat James Madison back-to-back days, and Florida State beat Alabama. So 2003, 32 years of this format, is the only time that on the same day the 2 teams with a loss have won both games to face off for the championship. That one skips well in front of the plate. It's 2-2 for Burns. Two from Brisky. Poke to the right side. Base hit Burns. Panel will stop at second. And Texas Tech threatening to extend this lead here with Kennedy throwing a gem, has 2 on and none out.
Just a good piece of hitting here by Burns with 2 strikes. Goes out and gets this, protects with 2 strikes, does not want to go down looking, so she just shortens up her swing, sends it the other way. That was a ball and a half off the plate, and she still was able to muscle it out to right.
Texas Tech will make a change here. A pinch runner. And so will Alabama. Alabama's going to bring in Vic Moten. 5+ innings for Brisky. And the Crimson Tide, with their season on the line, will turn to the freshman Moten when we return. For the second time today, Vic Moten enters in relief. The stakes heightened in game 2. A winner-go-home situation for the Crimson Tide. And they turn to their star freshman, who gave up that walk-off home run in game 1.
It was just her first time to pitch at the Women's College World Series. A freshman, just getting a taste very quickly with the situation that she stepped into. She has a strikeout potential. It's what we saw when she came in with the runner in scoring position. Got a couple of strikeouts with 72, 73 miles an hour.
8 hits against Jocelyn Brisky, but true to form, did not walk a batter. Has left a lot of runners out there on base, but she is responsible for 2 right now. Michaela Garcia is the runner at first for Jazzy Burns. Caitlin Terry the batter. Now Texas Tech hardly ever bunts. You wonder if they would, the way Kennedy's pitching. Terry did have 2 sack bunts last year at UCLA. And she squares around and takes ball 1. Not often you'd bunt with a .442 hitter, but these are tense times. And Terry takes a strike.
Well, and Vic Moten has a nice little low rise ball that I'm sure she's throwing in this bunt situation, trying to get Terry to pop out.
See if the bunt stays on. Terry looking to swing away, and Giles saves a potential wild pitch again. Two and one now to the All-American Terry. Panel and Garcia the runners. In there for strike 2. Moten from the bullpen, her 2-2. Grounded back to her, knocks it down, goes to third, and gets the outs. A little bobble, but a big smile as Vic Moten cuts down Panel, the lead runner.
Yeah, that ground ball got her quickly. 1 hop right to her glove, and then she bobbled it. Lots of speed in this Texas Tech team, so she knows that she has to be quick and make a decision with that throw.
Facing Haley Toney now, the shortstop. Zips one just below the knees. Toney, the only player on the roster to start her career at Texas Tech. In her second trip to the World Series, elevates a ball to center. White is underneath it. Garcia, the pinch runner, tags, and she is safe at third. Terry to second behind the play. So it's a productive out, but it is the second out for Toney. And it looks like Desiree Spearman is going to bat here in the 9 spot for Quiroga.
And Texas Tech is 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Alabama on the other side 0 for 1. They've just had 1 opportunity against Kennedy tonight, but lots of opportunities for Texas Tech to put more runs on the board that they have not capitalized on yet.
Now 1 for 14 today. Only had 1 hit in the first game in these spots. Spearman looks at strike 1. I know folks are feeling it. We keep saying it. It feels like more than 1-0, but they haven't converted any of the base runners except for the Burns home run where she converted herself. And let's see if Moten can spark some life into the Tide here. Oh, and 2 to Desiree Spearman. In the air to right center field. Kristen White with a call. Makes the catch. They keep getting away with this. 1 run on 8 hits. Bottom then the top for the Tide in a 1-0 game. Earlier today, the Texas Longhorns on the big bat of Katie Stewart took down Tennessee twice. And Tegan Cavan, the most outstanding player of the World Series a year ago, shut out the Lady Vols to send Texas into the championship finals for the 4th time in 5 years. Who will meet them? The answer to be determined with a little full moon fever in Oklahoma City. Texas Tech 6 outs away from a champ finals rematch. A 1-0 lead as we hit the home 6th. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough with Alyssa Lang down below. And a quick shout out to our incredible crew here. About 250 deep who have been here all day long. Mid-90s, feels like 100 folks running cameras, engineers, catering, makeup artists, production coordinators, production assistants, technicians, us dummy announcers who don't do any of that hard stuff, video operators, tape operators, everybody who has done yeoman's work, incredible work to put together this tournament, which we love dearly, and we know you all too. The champ finals begin Wednesday, and we'll see what the next inning and a half have in store first. Kristen White slaps the ball to shortstop, and White is just barely out of first. Tony had to be perfect and was. 5 1/3 shutout for Nyjah Kennedy.
And that was a big out, because remember when Jenna Young came to the plate in the top of the 7th, in the game earlier, Kristen White got on with an infield single, and then Young hit that home run.
By the way, Victoria Valdez is the new catcher, and Texas Tech's going to bring in Logan Halleman to play left field. Caitlin Terry will come into the dugout, and I wonder if she'll go out to the bullpen at some point soon.
I would say yes. The answer is yes.
Needs to get the ball, the glove, and the water bottle. 3rd time through, Jenna Young takes ball 1. Young was perfect her first 2 games at the World Series, reaching base 7 times. And there goes Terry out to the bullpen. Young, the game-tying homer in the 7th in game 1, fouls one away for strike 1 here.
We talked about how Nyjah Kennedy has been pitching these lefties. It has been away, 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 occasional change, away, 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 occasional rise. So we'll see if one of these lefties facing her a 3rd time can make an adjustment on that pitch.
1-1 coming. No adjustment there. Floated a changeup right in at the belt. The 2 head coaches both feeling different degrees of agony. It's amazing that Texas Tech is still here, down 8-0 with 1 out left. And a game that would have knocked them into the losers bracket against Ole Miss in regionals. Scored 8 unanswered in the 7th. Elimination game in Supers at Florida. The 3rd elimination game here at the World Series. And this start, they've done it unconventionally. This start is the longest start now by a Texas Tech pitcher in the NCAA tournament.
I was wondering that, actually, at the World Series, and then you're going even farther about the NCAA tournament, it being the longest start. But they have really been relying on both, as we saw Terry go down to warm up. This is a quality start for Nyjah Kennedy.
Trying to finish off Young, who will not be disposed of here. Game 1 of Supers at Florida. Terry faced 1 batter in the 6th inning before a change. So Kennedy 5 1/3. Tech without a tournament complete game.
It's a good take. She has just been living on that screwball. If you're Jenna Young, maybe you think a changeup is coming soon. Continuing to foul off that pitch, and you're going to get that changeup eventually. And I feel like Alabama, that is the pitch to hit. They have been fooled by her changeup all night, and it has been right down the heart of the plate, middle. They have just been not picking it up out of her hand. They're worried about 69-70 out of her hand, but that changeup, we saw Jordan Wolverine hit it last night for a home run.
This next pitch is going to be Nyjah's 200th pitch since last night. 200 pitches in 3 games. And it's the changeup, and it's a dandy.
She didn't want whatever was called. She wanted the changeup. She shook to get to this pitch. It's the pitch that we were just talking about. She fools Jenna Young. She sells that pitch and celebrates with Valdez, her catcher, back behind the plate.
Ball out.
4 more outs to get for Texas Tech. 4 more outs to win a 4th elimination game in this postseason. 4 more outs to a chance to play for a championship. 1-1 to Brooke Wells, who is the leading home run hitter for the Alabama Crimson Tide. But in these 2 games today, 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts, and a 5 for 28 tournament overall. 1-1 from Kennedy. Chased for strike 2. 72 miles per hour. 200 plus pitches in the last 30 or so hours. Looking as fresh as ever. A night that's reminded you why she's become such an icon in this sport, on this stage. 2-2. One hit, 1 walk, nothing more for Alabama. 1 run separating them. The 2-2 pitch. It has been eerily quiet in that Alabama section, that Alabama dugout all night long. The aftershocks of the Mia Williams walk-off are still reverberating, and yet they're only down 1. Looking for a spark. Wells deep to left, down the line. It is foul. Nearly the spark they were looking for.
That was on that changeup. She was just a little bit in front of that pitch. Probably not going to see that one again. Going to get some high heat here with the rise.
And she hit her. Kennedy jams one to the left hand of Wells. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, Alabama gets a 2-out base runner.
Trying to go up and in with that rise ball following the changeup, and hits her on that wrist. Brooke Wells is going to leave the Women's College World Series, whenever that is, with some bruises and a stitch in her lip.
Busted lip Thursday, colliding with Marley Giles. Hit on the helmet in game 1 by a pitch. Hit in the hand in game 2. Kinley Pate, the pinch runner. Caitlin Terry is apparently sufficiently warm. She's coming back into the Texas Tech dugout. Nyjah Kennedy will stay out there to face Alexis Papillo. It has been a tough day for the senior All-American Papillo. And an infield single in game 1, but just 1 for 6. She's grounded out twice, or 3 times to second. She struck out twice. A 3rd-team All-American with great power. Her teammates will tell you, and she will tell you, what an extraordinary change she made. Much faster, much stronger, much more physical this year. It's led to an All-American season to end her college career. Kid who said she came back from Clearwater last year, watched her film and said, I have no idea who that is, and decided to make a change from that point on. Decided to eat cleaner, to swing faster. Feels in the best shape of her life, and the numbers have showed it. Does she have one more magic swing for Alabama? Out of play at strike 2.
When she's swinging at some better pitches here, she's been chasing, and the at-bats today helping Texas Tech pitchers out.
The 91st pitch of game 2 for Nyjah Kennedy. Popped up, third base side, on to the 7th we go. Nyjah survives the big bats in the Alabama lineup. Texas Tech up 1 inning from the champ finals.
A Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
A home run ball to the happy and, in some cases, furry family of Jazzy Burns. That's the run, the one and only. And the one and only run that Nyjah Kennedy has needed. Turning back the clock to World Series past. Texas Tech with 8 of the 9 hits and the only run as we hit the 7th inning. Both semifinals today have gone to an if necessary game. Texas swept Tennessee. Texas Tech looking to do the same to Alabama. They have a real chance to add on here. Mia Williams in the 7th inning in game 1 hit a walk-off home run off Vic Moten. Top 3 in the card for Tech against the freshman Moten, who gets a strike on Williams. Williams, Davis, and Allred for the Red Raiders. Giles, Roman, and Vandegrift 4, 5, 6 for the Crimson Tide. That is a swing for strike 2. Alabama fans may be conjuring up some haunting visions of semifinals in the not too distant past. Off the end of the bat, that'll be caught by Jenna Young. 2021, Bama won the first 2 games. Swept by Florida State 2-0. Then the next day, because of some rain, lost 8-5. 2019, Montana Fouts pitched them to a 1-0 win over Oklahoma, but they lost game 2, 7-3. Davis down to first, skips away from Abby Dukeshire. Maya Davis on base twice today, and that'll be her third time on in this game and her second hit.
Well, Dukeshire is playing up the line, anticipating maybe some short game here, a bunt. You have to respect the speed of Davis as a first baseman, but then you become the hot corner when she swings away.
Nine hits for Texas Tech. Lauren Allred's got one of them. Texas Tech has a hit in all 7 innings in this game.
Ball.
And yet they have stranded 8 runners. But this is nothing new for Nyjah Kennedy. All that run support this year, maybe that made her uncomfortable. Up the middle, a base hit for Allred. Davis speeding her way to third, and a huge second run is about to score. Thrown away by White. A critical error for Alabama, and Texas Tech trying to put it out of reach. Leads 2-0. The Red Raiders' speed causes a massive mistake.
And Kristen White should not have made this throw to third. The throw should go to 2. Davis is clearly going to make it. You want to keep another runner out of scoring position with the backside runner of Allred, but just catastrophe there leading to Texas Tech run. And Jerry Glasgow knows with the way that Kennedy is pitching in this game how important that extra run is.
White's third error of the year. It sent Allred all the way to third. The umpires are going to get together and discuss something on this play. It was ruled a dead ball with the ball thrown out of play. As it stands, 2-0, Allred to third, 1 out. Just the third hit in this game for Tech with runners on base, 3 for 16. It looks like nothing's going to change here. Allred will stay at third. Davis. With that run, by the way, Maya Davis has just taken sole possession of the active lead in runs scored. She already has the active lead in hits, steals, and games played. Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst. Christy, what's going on here?
So what they're talking about is the base award. It should be 2 bases from the last base legally occupied at the time of the throw. So I believe that they have this correct.
Okay. So here's the throw, and Allred, it appears, just turned around first by the time the throw came in. So runner at third, 1 out, 1 in. That feels like a mountain to climb for Alabama now. Batter is Jackie Liss.
Ball.
Allred and Davis. They were not the high-profile transfers for Texas Tech. They were the kids who came from Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow from Lafayette to Lubbock. But their impact has been as significant as pretty much anybody else's.
Ball.
Lauren Allred said last year she only knew Texas Tech had a team because Victoria Valdez had been committed to Texas Tech before signing with Louisiana, and then she came to Tech with Jerry Glasgow. 3-1 to Liss. A look of a man who can't believe his luck right now. Ball 4 to Liss. 3 straight base runners in the 7th. The first Texas Tech walk. And here comes Taylor Pannell.
Well, the Texas Tech fans have just been so loud with that additional run. And you talked about this earlier, but the Alabama fans have been so quiet because offensively there's just not been a lot to cheer about. Offensively, Alabama has only gotten 1 runner to second base. And Nyjah Kennedy and Texas Tech have taken the Alabama fans completely out of this game as Brieske warms up in the bullpen.
Anybody who's been to the Rhodes House knows how passionate the Alabama fan base is. They've got support here, but they just haven't had any air in the balloon tonight. You can understand how much that Game 1 loss hurt. Tying home run in the top of the 7th, a gut punch from their perspective coming back for Mia Williams. And it's been a lifeless, listless night for the folks in Crimson because of what Texas Tech has done. And again, it's still only a 2-run game, but it's a 2-run game against Nyjah Kennedy. And it might be more than 2 soon. Pannell is the batter. Ball. 1st and 3rd, by the way. This is a classic Jerry Glasgow trickeration situation. Don't be shocked if he tries to pull some base running shenanigans with Allred at 3rd, Liss at 1st.
You never know with him in that third base coach's box. What is going on in his mind, what play he wants to run, what he sees with the defense, what hunch he gets.
In the dirt. Great stop by Giles, who's been magnificent back there. Now the home run hitter Burns on deck. Moten is in the middle of a swirling volcano of trouble right now. 3-0 for Pannell.
Ball.
4-pitch walk loads the bases. No walks in the game for Texas Tech until the last 2 hitters. An Alabama team that went 7-0 to start in the NCAA tournament. Gave up just 5 runs in those first 7 games. Were tested by UCLA in the opener here. Had to come back in the 5th and 6th. Not been tested too deeply other than that. Right now, Patrick Murphy is talking over the lineup card with Chelsea Clark. Make sure Jazzy Burns is re-entering in the right spot here for Tech, which will use a timeout to talk.
I'm wondering if Brieske, if he's thinking about bringing Brieske back into this game. You have an opportunity to keep the score right where it's at. Bases loaded, ground ball double play opportunity, and the outs that Moten has gotten all have been in the air with the exception of 1.
It was a little surprising for a pitcher who, as you noted, is such a drop ball specialist. So he's going to stay in to face Burns, who has homered in this game. Woo! Right at her with strike 1. Jazzy Burns shaking off a slow start to the World Series, delivering her best with Tech's backs to the walls.
That's a good drop ball there. You see the ground ball off of her bat. So many different ways to turn a double play here, and Alabama needs it in a bad way.
Allred is that potential 3rd run at 3rd. Liss and Pannell behind her. Moten has the count in her favor on 0-2. Finds the finishing touch. Her first strikeout of this game, an enormous one.
Next best thing beside a double play is a strikeout in this situation, and she gets it with her drop ball. Great location. Painting that outside corner by Vic Moten. Attacks that outside corner.
Tech now 0 for 7 with a walk with the bases loaded at the World Series. Terry looking for their first bases loaded hit. Ground ball to shortstop. Hawkins to first. They leave him loaded. They get one more though. Nigeri Kennedy is 3 outs away from bringing Texas Tech back to the championship finals and continuing one of the most historic careers of her era. The bottom of the 7th when we return. Texas Tech leads by 2 in the 7th. They have been here before. And in a sense, Alabama's got them right where they want them, because yesterday, 2-run lead in the 7th. Until this, Jordan Woolery, game-tying home run off Nigeri Kennedy. Of course, Tech would come back to win that game, but after some pain. And then in game 1 today, 2-run lead, 7th inning. Enter Jenna Young. Caitlin Terry didn't even look at it. A tying home run to the Tide's leadoff hitter Young. Tech would come back to win that game, of course. In the 7th inning this season, Texas Tech did not allow a single solitary earned run in the regular season. They've been touched up for 10 earned in the NCAA tournament. If they can turn those tides, they will turn out the tide and head back to the championship finals. A 2-run lead for Nigeri Kennedy facing Marley Giles, who checks her swing on a first pitch pop-up for out number 1. A huge batter vanquished on a half-hearted swing for Kennedy, who is, oh, by the way, throwing a one-hitter.
She has looked in control of this game. She started out the first inning with 2 strikeouts, has had a couple of innings with multiple strikeouts.
And a rolling right back to Nyjah. Throw to first, 1 out to get. Before you could even blink, Alabama is on the brink. It's up to Audrey Vandegrift to keep the game going. Some folks may scoff at the idea of Texas Tech being a resilient team. With the transfers they brought in, with the NIL money they spent, they don't care. And they have been resilient. They have staved off elimination time and again this postseason. They won an elimination game in a heated environment in Florida in the Super Regionals. They won one yesterday against UCLA in 9 innings. They walked off Alabama in a must-win game just hours ago. And they have one more strike to get. Grounded fair inside the bag. Vandegrift going for 2, and she is safe.
You got time,
that
baby.
takes some guts. Vandegrift with a second Alabama hit, fighting off an 0-2, and she'll bring the tying run to the plate.
And if you have a strike left and out left, you have an opportunity to tie up this game and get right back into it. Vandegrift, a little bit of spark here, taking second, very risky, but trying to send some energy into this Alabama team.
A tying run is the freshman Ambry Taylor. Rips through a first pitch strike. Taylor homered twice at the SEC tournament. She's homered 11 times in her freshman year. And once again, Alabama has only 1 strike remaining in this exceptional season. Nyjah's 99th pitch of this second game, her 156th pitch of the day. Line to right field, all Reds there. Texas Tech and Texas are set for a rematch. The Red Raiders and the Longhorns survive one of the wildest days in World Series history. And they will lock horns once more in the championship finals. Alabama's second straight trip to the semifinals, where they were the 2-0 team. In 2021 and in 2026, they lose both times. Their first title since 2012 will have to wait. But Nyjah Kennedy delivers one of the most amazing performances of her star-studded career. A career that deserved to end right here on this stage, on this Oklahoma dirt, and a career that will end in the championship finals with a chance to make history for Texas Tech. It's time for our Capital One rewarding performance. And as it has been so many times over the last 4 years at the World Series, it is Nyjah Kennedy.
And this is the best game that she has pitched in the NCAA tournament this year. Vintage Nyjah Kennedy getting some strikeouts, but a lot of soft contact to lead to outs for her defense and for her offense to score just a couple of runs. We have seen a game like this so many times with Kennedy.
And she is right near the circle where she threw that shutout with Alyssa Lang.
Nyjah, you throw a shutout to send your team to the Women's College World Series Champ Series. Walk me through your mindset when you stepped into the circle today.
Yeah, I'm just going to tag hitters. I mean, I don't want to be done playing softball, so just trying to play as long as possible.
When you look at what your offense did today between Mia and the walk-off, Lauren and Jazzy to start this game, what did you see from that group?
Yeah, just a group that wants to fight. Just a group of women who want to fight and want to keep playing.
You guys won 3 games in one day. Last night against UCLA, 2 today against Alabama. How did this team find the energy to do it?
Yeah, we just want to play for each other. I mean, we're out there fighting for each other, so that's it.
You had some very motivational meetings, it looked like, with Coach Glasgow and the rest of your team. What is he saying to you in these high-pressure moments?
Yeah, he just wants me to go at hitters. I feel like sometimes I'm not confident in myself, but he always has confidence in me, so that makes me want to fight for him.
You'll see Texas again in the Champ Series. You saw them last year. What are some of the things that you'll share with the new faces on your team that you learned a season ago?
Yeah, we have to fight for each other. I mean, this is a privilege to be at the World Series, so just trying to enjoy every moment.
How does it feel to know that you're going back to the Champ Series?
It feels amazing.
Congrats, Nyjah.
Awesome, thank you.
You know, in the college football world, there's been a lot of talk about Texas Tech trying to get a matchup with Texas on the books and some back and forth. Who cares about football? We've got everything you need starting on Wednesday night. The first ever championship finals rematch in World Series history. And a rematch, Amanda, that looked rather unlikely coming into today.
That's one word to describe it. Did not look like this is going to happen. I am shocked that we are leaving the ballpark on Monday night with another Texas Tech matchup. But what a performance by Nyjah Kennedy, and so much hard fight from this Texas Tech team, and a great season from Alabama.
Texas Tech makes it to the championship finals, having won 4 elimination games. Texas has won 6. So maybe they'll just try to throw game 1. That game 1 Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ESPN. We cannot wait to watch it. We thank you all for your joy and your support of college softball, and it's not over. Wednesday night, the Red Raiders and Longhorns will tussle for a second straight year for the ultimate prize. Time for SportsCenter with Madeline Burke and Trevor Scales.